Okay, so Warren Greatrex, you've got some lovely, lovely horses in the yard, including, of course, Bague Au Roi and Emitom, both of whom are unbeaten this season. We'll start with Bague Au Roi. How is she, first of all?
Yeah, no, she came back from Leopardstown. She's a little bit quiet for a week or so, probably the travelling more than anything else. But she's in tip-top order now. She's schooled this morning under Richard Johnson, and he was very happy over six fences. I couldn't be happier. She seems fresh and well. She's the same weight as she was going to Leopardstown. She's fresh, obviously missing Cheltenham, and we're very much looking forward to running her.
And of course her form this season has been incredible, including of course at Christmas beating RSA winner top of the game and second Santini. Is it fair to say that fences have rather been the making of her?
Yeah, very much so. Early in her career, actually, jumping was a bit of a hindrance. She's quite tall, and she's been that tall since she was a 4-year-old. So I think it was basically her brain working out where her feet were going. But she's got better and better over hurdles. And fences this year. We sent her to Henrietta Knight to do a intense schooling session early in the season, which she did a bit last year as well. And it's done her the world of good. But she seems to be. The fences seem to have made her thrive during the season, and for whatever reason she's just taken to it really, really well, and she's an extremely quick jumper over a fence, and it doesn't seem to take much energy out of her, which is the main thing.
And of course she bypassed Cheltenham. Is that partly because, as you just mentioned, she came out of Leopardstown, needed a bit of time, or partly because of flu vaccinations, or just was it always the plan not to go?
Yeah, I've always had it in the back of my mind. She's run at Cheltenham twice and disappointed. I'm not sure that's totally because of the track, but she's very tall, and where she's very impressive, she gets into a really high cruising speed, and I think a flat track brings the best out in her. So I'd sort of always had it earmarked as Aintree was going to be the place to go. We were tempted by Cheltenham, as you would be, especially with the form that's been around, but after Leopardstown she was only going to have 5 weeks until Cheltenham after Leopardstown. So speaking to Richard and the owners, we thought it was better to give her 8 weeks, and it's, well, fingers crossed at the moment, it seems to have been the right thing.
And of course she's got a few options at Aintree. Mild made the way you're leaning, or are you not sure yet?
I think the ground at the moment is good to soft. I think they're going to get a bit of rain Tuesday. I mean, it'll be lovely ground. I think probably 3 mile is probably her optimum trip. But again, if the 3 mile looked like it was going to be full of all the stars, and the 2.5 mile cut up, for instance, I wouldn't be adverse to going back. I don't think it would bother her that much. She's fairly versatile trip-wise, but we'll wait later in the week and just see. But at the moment, 3 mile is the plan.
And on to Emitom, who's a horse I'd rather fall in love with this season. He's still unbeaten, and he proved his class under a double penalty at Newbury. But a little Dicky Bird tells me you think he's improved again since then.
Yeah, I think sometimes with these youngsters, he's a very laid-back character. He sort of always he coasted through life really up until Newbury the last day, and he's made the odd error, not because he can't jump. It's just he loses a bit of concentration, and that might be because he was so much better than the rest that he sort of falls asleep a bit. He can do that a bit at home, but Newbury, he had to be on his game. He made a little error down the back, but when he had to knuckle down, he really stuck to it. Showed something we hadn't seen before, that he's got a real fight in him, and can finish off his races really well. And I think that has brought him on. I think he's realised, sometimes it's a bit like a child, I suppose, that you have to chastise a bit just to bring them on. They learn, and I'm sure that it's helped him, and he knows what he's here for, and his work's been good since. He looks great. He's just full of potential, so fingers crossed he's going the right way at the moment.
Yeah, and of course what he has done in all his races is gallop all the way to the line, so it looks like a thorough stayer. You've got experience of those types with Cole Harden, of course. How would he compare to him?
Cole Harden was, ability-wise, he probably wouldn't be up there, because where he won his races, he was just so brave, through adversity really, because he wasn't the soundest horse in wind or limb really, but Emitom has a lot of untapped potential. I don't think he realised how good he could be yet. He does stay very well, but on potential and of what I've seen, Emitom would show you more at this stage.
Excellent. So exciting times ahead. Aintree's the plan. Have you got a particular race in mind?
Again, he will be in the 2.5 mile on the Saturday, and he'll be in the 3 mile on the Friday. 2 things just to think about. Obviously, again, ground. And I just would be not concerned, but over 2.5 they might just run him off his feet early, which wouldn't be ideal, and he'll definitely stay the 3. In my mind, I'm never too keen on their first season to put them over 3, but the way he races, I don't really have an issue, and it'll just help him get more in a rhythm. And the way he's, like you said, the way he's finished off his races, it could just help him. And so we'll think nearer the time, but possibly the 3 mile with the weather forecast could be the one.
Excellent. And on to another one of your Aintree horses, Theatre Territory, who we saw on the gallops earlier. Presumably going to be ridden by Sam Welly-Cohen, as they own him. He's got a great record over the big fences and could go for the Topham.
Yeah, no, she's had quite a hard first half of the season, and then I ran her in late January, and she disappointed a bit, but I've run her twice at Wincanton and she's run badly both times. We've freshened her up since, and she seems in great form. She obviously finished 3rd in the Topham last year, but she'd had quite a hard season second half last year, so I've changed things a bit. We've freshened her up. Like you say, Sam is probably, if not the best rider over those fences, he's one of them. And yeah, no, she goes there fresh and well. She's still got a few to come out to get in the race, but fingers crossed she can, because the way she jumped around there last year was nothing short of exceptional.
Excellent. And another for Aintree is Keeper Hill. Switched back to hurdles, perhaps didn't really take to chasing in the way that you'd hoped, and ran in the stayers last time. Is he a bit of a tricky one to place, perhaps?
I think we could have gone for the Pertemps at Cheltenham, and the owners very, they were sporting, they want to have a go at the big one. He actually ran extremely well. He finished off very strong, and I think he finished 9th in the end. But the 3 mile handicap on the Saturday will be the plan. Last year he had an issue with his back, a kissing spine, which we did operate on during the summer. I think at Musselburgh last year he had a bad fall, and I think that just disrupted the end of the season, because he was a bit disappointing the back end last year. I was chuffed to bits the way he ran his first few races this season. He'll like the ground. He's run well at Aintree before. I think there's more improvement over hurdles, and he deserves a crack at a good handicap. And my view then would be to go back chasing next year after having a fairly good season over hurdles.
Excellent. Okay. And looking beyond Aintree, Western Rider and Encore Champs have both got entries for the Scottish Champion Hurdle. Sorry, I'll get my words out in a second. How are they both? Yeah,
they're okay. Western Rider's come back a bit quiet from Cheltenham. I'm still just deciding what to do with him. The plan is to go over fences next year. So we'll look. There's a few races. There's Cheltenham. There's Ayr. There's even Punchestown possibly, but I'm just going to sit on the fence a little bit and see how he is over the next week or so, and he will school over fences, and if he doesn't, then at least he's had a sighter of the fences before next year. But he's one of these horses, he's run really, he hasn't missed any dance this year, and he's put a lot into it, so it might just be that he's had enough, but to have a 150 horse going over fences next year, he's not over big, but he's very athletic, and last year he was a bit timid at his hurdles. Jumps much better this year. He could be very exciting for novice chasing next year.
And Jamin Masters, who's been very, very consistent this year, but perhaps didn't enjoy himself too much in the Midlands National. What's the plan with him?
Yeah, no, he's come back. He's not quite right after the Midlands National, and I would say that's why he ran to that level, which was disappointing on the day, but we always like a reason for it. But he'd been consistent enough before that. He'd just been one of these horses that has been, he's had an issue because the ground. He loves really soft ground, and the winter we've barely had a winter. So he's run well. I mean, he was second in a very good race at Ascot. He was second in 2 novice chases behind 2 good horses. So he was consistent. Midlands National, disappointing. We're going to have to sort out what the issue is. But he's definitely got races in him. I thought he would reach a fairly high level this year, which he has done to a part. It's a shame he hasn't won. But next year, you never know, the rain might come at some point, and then we can have a proper winter, and that's where we'll see him at his best.
Excellent. And Mulcahy's Hill, he's running sort of against some top opposition this year, so you must think a bit of him.
Yeah, I mean, he was just touched off in the Challow last year. It's just been a shame because it probably hasn't gone his way. First run of the season, he was probably not quite ready. Then he ran at Bangor, ran a really good race. He then ran in a Grade 2 against Lost in Translation and Defi de Soy. So he probably hasn't been given a chance to run at a low grade and build up. And obviously he had a fall at Cheltenham when he was running a great race. He's actually, for a horse that was, he was very tired after that, but he's bounced back. So we'll look, we might just try and find something small for him now to finish the season off. He has got loads of ability, he has his issues. He's a real character. He's one of the favourites in the yard because he's just a stupid bugger, really. But no, we just need to get him back on track because there's definitely plenty of talent in there.
And talking of plenty of talent, there's no shortage of it in the yard. Which of the other horses we should be keeping an eye on?
Of young horses to come out, Kemble's Cascade is an unraced horse by Calanisi. He might run at Fosslas next week. He's showing up well at home. He's owned by Andrew and Jean Merriam, who own half of Bague Au Roi, so they could be they might be lucky again. And Miss Honey Rider's won, Western Rider's half sister. She's going to go to Punchestown for the mare's bumper. She's won her last two. She just took a bit of time to come to hand. She's quite a big mare, but she's won at Taunton her last twice, showing a great attitude and hitting the line very hard. I think the track over there, we were going to put her in at Aintree, but I think the track at Punchestown will suit her even better. She could be quite exciting for the future. So they're a couple to look out for.
Excellent. Thank you very much and best of luck.
Lovely. Thank you.